Happy Friday!
Woo! Here we go. It's Thursday though, but that's okay.
Did I say Friday?
Yes, you did say
no,
Friday.
I didn't.
That's the second time you've done
gosh.
that.
I'm just gonna stop saying that.
We're trying to get this week over because it has been bitter cold here, and I know there's other places out there. You guys probably have feet of snow. We had almost a foot of snow 2 weeks ago, last week, and then we had over the weekend. It got like in the 70s, and then we've been in the single digits pretty much all this week.
Though the snow was really beautiful today.
Yeah,
it was like the movie snow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I tried to record it on the phone and it didn't record real well, but the sun came out as it was snowing, and it looked like little diamonds in the air. It was so cool.
It was cool.
Anyway, so yeah, tonight is the prospecting call. It's Frankie Shayne and Katie Lane, and we are here to host this call this evening. And we have been debating on all the many subjects that we have to do tonight. So actually, it's been a crazy day for both of us. And so we've come up with some interesting takes on prospecting.
Yes, specifically warm market prospecting.
Right.
You know, we talk about cold market prospecting a lot.
Yeah, we do. We do, because there's a lot of that. When people do marketing, a lot of times, especially when I'm working with them, they're doing either the postcards or they're doing cold calls or they're doing an ad or whatever. And technically, all of those would fall under the umbrella of cold market because they're people you've never spoken to before. Now, what justifies them as being warm is the fact that they've received a postcard and said, yes, I'm interested. But that's still a pretty cool lead. As far as that goes, lukewarm. Yeah. So tonight we want to focus on warm markets. So for those of you who are not familiar with this type of industry, who are new to this type of home business, when we say your warm market, we're talking about people within your circle of influence. It doesn't have to be family, it doesn't have to be friends. It could be people from work, it could be people that you know by second or third person in your community. But warm market is people within your circle of influence, people that more than likely you could have a face-to-face with.
Right.
Would you say it's a fair assessment?
Yeah.
So those are the people we're going to talk about tonight. Many of the systems we mentioned before are people that are outside your local area. They're people that you may not ever come face-to-face with.
Right.
Nowadays you've got Zoom and things, of course, but they're no one that you would be in person with, you know. And so tonight we want to focus a little bit on your warm market. Now, even though I've done a lot of marketing throughout the years and a lot of training throughout the years, Caitlin actually, in working with the new systems we have, has really delved into a lot of great tools for your warm market.
Yes.
Ways to track your warm market, ways to identify your warm market, ways to know what's going on in your warm market local area. And it's all just a series of checks and balances, systems, and tools. And so we're going to get into it tonight, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to bounce off of one another here because she's got the tools and systems, and then I'll interject with how I've used these in the past and what my experience has been with that. So without any further ado, Miss Caitlin, I'm turning it over to you this time.
Okay, thank you.
You can take the lead. Yes.
All right. So I would say the first thing to think about is how you're going to explain what this all is to your warm market.
Yes.
You know, because you can make your list and do all the steps that come up to actually having the conversation with them.
Right.
And then introducing network marketing to them.
Right.
So
yes,
how would you explain that?
Okay, well, this is where it's volleyed back to me. Okay, so catch. And so, all right, so one of the things that you can do is what I find personally when I'm doing any type of marketing to someone about this opportunity who has no point of reference. They don't understand network marketing. They don't understand nutrition. They understand what this is. Like you say, network marketing or home-based business. Most people, you're going to find when you say home-based business, they have no clue what you're talking about because they're used to working a 9 to 5. They're used to working either in the factory industry or the business sector. These are the different types of jobs most people are accustomed to when you say business.
Right.
Okay. And when you mention you can own your own business, they begin to think of a conventional 4 walls that they now own, that they go to every day. It's not like that. So what the first thing I do is you want to let them know exactly what the difference is between this and a conventional business. Okay. One of the things I generally tell people is that this is a type of situation, it's a type of marketing, type of business that you are the one who makes all the decisions. You get to choose the time you work, the time you don't work. You get to choose when and where you do it. You can do it from a coffee shop. You can do it from your living room. You can do it from your den. You can do it from the front porch. You can do it from your, do it wherever.
From vacation.
Okay. But that this is a legitimate business. There have been hundreds of thousands of people make hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars doing this. Okay. Now, once you start explaining the structure of network marketing, even people who've never been into it are probably going to say, oh yeah, that's one of those Ponzi schemes, or that's one of those pyramid things. Okay. Pyramid is really an unfair term, but it's become latched to network marketing like crazy, but it's an unfair term. The reason it's an unfair term is every business is a pyramid. Every business has an owner, then has a CEO, then has presidents, then has people in it, and it just goes out and out and out till you get to the bottom rung, which are the guys on the factory floor. But those guys are making money. These guys are making money. These guys all the way up to the top.
Right.
So to call it a pyramid is really, it's a misuse of the word, because everything truthfully is built that way. So what I explain to them is that this is the type of business where you become an independent owner, an independent distributor with this company. The company pays you. You find customers, you find other people who want to build the business. And when they purchase product, and that's key, when they purchase product, that's where you make your money. Okay. The reason that's key is that is one of the biggest tells, if you will, of what a scam is versus a legitimate opportunity. A scam will tell you, hey, you sell this product, you make some commission off of it, but we can get other people in. We're going to give you bonuses for recruiting people. That's a scam. That's what you don't want to get involved with, because you cannot pay just to bring numbers into a company.
Right.
But when you're getting paid on a product and you're getting commission on those products, and the bigger commission comes from the sale, that's what you look for. With our company, we have some of the highest payouts in the entire industry. When you have just customers, every single purchase is 25% commission. That's pretty good. So what I do explain to them is that, no, this isn't a conventional business where you're going to drive to work every day. This isn't a business that you have to pay for the building rent, that you have to pay for the overhead of the lights. You don't have to pay employees. You don't have to pay for all the utilities, water, and everything. You don't have to do any of that, but it is a business. You have to treat it like a business. You have to build it like a business. And then, of course, more of what the explanation is going to be is actually going to be answering questions.
Right.
Once you kind of start laying a very thin foundation, you're going to find the questions start coming. Well, what about this? What about that one?
Right.
And so a lot of it's going to be just you being able to answer their questions. But the main thing I express to them is that this is a legitimate business. You are the person that makes the decisions for this business. You do make commission off of this. You can build it. And everything is done directly through the company, and you're one of the affiliates.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Another like analogy you could use with them is one that I know we've used a lot when talking to people, is when you go to a movie and you really love that movie. Like, I just saw the Spider-Man No Way Home movie.
Great movie, by the way.
I will not give any spoilers, but it was
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so I went to that movie and I loved it. Okay. And then I have friends that I know are interested in Marvel, or just interested in great movies, or even just going to the movie theater.
Right.
Who do I tell about my amazing experience with that movie? Everybody.
Right.
Everybody.
And the theater paid you, right?
Absolutely not.
Well,
They did not.
Marvel paid you though, right?
No.
Spider-Man paid you.
No.
So why did you tell them?
Because I just loved it.
Ah, there's the key.
I figured
You're
they would
passionate about it?
Yeah. They'd have a great experience just like I did.
Right. That's the heart of network marketing.
Yep.
It's a people business. When you share information about something, you're passionate about something you love, and people get involved, you actually get rewarded. But as we said before, you go to a great movie, you tell someone the theater's not going to give you your next ticket free.
Mhm.
The movie company is not going to pay you a commission because you
Right.
got someone else to see Spider-Man.
Right.
Spider-Man is not going to pay you anything. When you go to a restaurant and you love the steak, you love the way it's prepared, you tell all your friends, man, you want a great steak, you want it prepared exactly how you want it, this is the place to go. That steak restaurant is not going to give you your next steak free. They're not going to give you commission for everyone that says, hey, Frankie told me to come in and
Right.
try your steaks. But in this, if you try these products, you love these products, you love the company, and you say, hey, man, I know you haven't been feeling well. This product has helped my immune system and helped me and helped my health, support my health in ways I never thought possible. And I feel great. You got to try it out.
Mhm.
And if they try it out, guess what? The company pays you because they tried it out.
Right.
That's where you make your commission.
Yeah.
So again, another way to explain it is to also get into the referral side of things, because it is a newer term for network marketing. It used to be MLM, then it became network marketing. Now it's referral marketing.
Mhm.
That's basically what it is. You're referring people to something you feel comfortable about,
Right.
something you feel passionate about, something you like, and you want to give other people the opportunity.
Right.
So
That's why it's always a really great idea to build your own product testimony, which also qualifies you for those commissions, because you can work for life without putting money in to make those commissions.
right.
Because For Life does something called PV, which is principal volume. So you have to have 100 principal volume per month to qualify for those commissions that are coming in.
Right.
You can achieve that 3 different ways. The first way is purchasing that LP yourself, building that product testimony. The second way is sending your My Shop link, putting it on flyers, materials that you hand out, just sending the link to somebody, putting it on Facebook, on an ad, whatever, sending people to your My Shop to purchase. Okay. Then there's a hybrid of both, of you purchasing some product, maybe putting your label on that Energy Go stick, sending it to somebody. You have LP that you purchase yourself that counts towards your PV. And then if they order, their LP counts towards your PV. So you can make commissions with this without investing money if you so choose.
Right.
So that's important also to remember, that it is important to build a product testimony, but if you don't have the commission to do so, you can earn commissions by not buying any product. But that product testimony is a marketing tool in and of itself. You have experience that you can share with somebody. Just the example that he used just a little bit ago was a perfect example of how to segue your experience with the products into helping someone else maybe have that type of experience. You can do the same thing with the business.
Exactly. And the great thing is that, well, I shouldn't say the great thing. I mean, it is a great thing, but the one catch-22, if you decide that you want to build it without investing, is you can get those people in, you can get them building, and their PV can actually count towards your qualification. The thing is, you have to get them in.
Right.
So sometimes people say, well, I can do that and pay for my own product. But then they have a hard time getting those first few people in because they don't know how to approach people in their market. So that's why we want to talk about this, because you can make that without having to make an investment, but you're going to have to approach people. And if you're not willing to approach people, then you're not going to make that for your investment. So it's the chicken before the egg type of a thing. It's a cycle there. So a lot of times people will start off by qualifying, by purchasing their own at the beginning. And once they start getting people rolling in, then that switches, and then they can use more of their own funds to build their business, because now the PV is covered through people they put into their business.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to, like I said, there's a hybrid there. You can do both. Yeah. And that's what people are doing. So
another way you can look at explaining this to somebody is just like how companies have a sales department. They have many different departments in a company. They have marketing, they have sales,
advertising,
they have all these different departments. Okay. For Life does their own manufacturing. They have their in-house science research
R&D,
and development team. They have all these things in-house. The only thing I believe that they outsource is all those other departments.
Right.
Each person
Right.
is their own marketing, advertising, and sales.
Right.
So if you want to explain it like that to somebody, like you
Yeah.
said, a pyramid can be applied to every business.
Right. Every
you know?
business model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you get paid the big bucks in
Right.
a networking company because you are all of those different departments. You're covering
And that's
all
the
of
way
them.
that's how the company is able to pay everyone.
Right.
People say, well, how in the world, if this really works and everybody can get paid, mathematically, it doesn't make sense. Well, here's one thing. Some people are going to be happy being customers. So they're not going to get paid because all they want is to use the product.
Right.
A lot of people will try and will get frustrated and maybe not stick with it. So that's more people you're not having to pay because they never really got their business going. But regardless of all that, the way they're able to do it is that this company, despite being around this year, it will be 24 years in October that our company's been around since October of 1998. So in all that time, the reason that they've been able to do that is in all those years, you haven't seen a television commercial. You haven't seen full-blown, full-color, full-page ads in USA Today and in News Weekly or any of these things. The money that they would use towards advertising goes back into the distributors. So just as Caitlin said, you're the advertising department, you're the marketing department, you're the ones out there putting where the rubber meets the road, you're putting your feet to the pavement, you're getting out there and making this happen. And the company is paying you a commission, a healthy commission, because of the effort that you're making.
Right.
So yeah, I like the way you put that. We are their marketing department. We are the engine, keeping things moving. So, those are some things to keep in mind too. Now, another thing that I often do, and you're going to run into this whether you're doing warm market or cold market. So this is kind of universal. But one of the things you want to do is when you do talk to people, we just talked about ways to cover the initial costs. One thing you don't want to do is hide that information or the information that there's even a cost to this until the very end of the call or the very end of the meeting. If you're at a coffee shop or wherever, you don't want to fill them with all this and get them all psyched up and then at the very end say, oh, and it's going to cost you this much. A lot of times people, especially now with so many things going on, gas prices soaring, with the looming threat of entering some kind of a war going on now as of today, you've got all these things going on. We look like we're coming out of the pandemic, but there's other things on the horizon we're starting to hear about from other countries. So, I mean, it's a kind of a weird time. You don't want to wait till the very end to pop on someone that this is going to cost this much to get started. I generally try to get that out on the table within the first few minutes of having the conversation, because I feel like that when you're talking to people, and it's proven true because I've done it both ways, and I find more times than not, if I get it out of the way at the beginning, that's a good way to vet that person. Because if they say, oh, well, okay, that's not bad, well, tell me more about it, then you've got someone who's willing to put their money where their mouth is, make the investment and build the business. I've had people who, the minute you say that, they're like, oh, good Lord, there's no, what do I get for that? Well, you're getting product, you're qualifying so you can earn commission. So I have to pay so that I can turn around and make money. Well, it's a business. If you're not paying this little small fee that we're having you pay each month, you're gonna have to pay for a building, for all the things we mentioned earlier, all the utilities, all of the overhead that comes with the business. I guarantee you're not going to get into a conventional business for the cost that it costs to get into this company at all. And that's including not just your qualification, but even any marketing costs. You're still going to be way below what a conventional business would cost. So I always try to divulge that information towards the beginning, because I find that I've had people who have called me that are distributors of ours, said, listen, I talked to this person, they're really excited. I told them about you and the support. So will you please call them and close the deal? Okay, so it sounds perfect. Sounds like this person is, ready to bat, where it's just going to be a swing and a home run, done. I get on the phone with them. No one ever told them what it costs. No one ever told them, that there's marketing cost involved. No one ever told them that, hey, you have to talk to people about this. All they were told and got excited about was the product and what the company could pay them. No one ever told them anything about what you got to do to get paid. And then once I share that information with them, it turns out that they're not interested at all. And I'm like, how does someone go from being so excited to a dead fish like that. And it's because not all the information was divulged.
Right.
It was withheld from them. And so I always find that you want to try to get anything dealing with money and investment, you want to try and get that out early in the conversation, you know,
Right.
because you want to make sure that you're on the same page. You don't want to waste their time. You don't want them wasting yours. So you don't want to spend an hour giving them all this great information, building this up, and then just to find out they don't have money to invest.
Right.
So, you know, and this is what we talked about on our last call about quality versus quantity. You want to make sure that person's a quality person. That's another way to vet them in a non-pressure way. You know, if you go to the very end and you're like, so you ready to sign, you ready to do this? Yeah, well, great. It's going to be this much money each month. You need to do this for, you know, and then they're like, whoa, wait a second. You know, where'd that come from? If you put that out there early, it kind of vets them and kind of puts them in a category of, yeah, I want to do this. That's okay. I know that I'm going to have to invest something. I'm willing to invest that. If you wait and it catches them off guard, you might find someone who becomes in defensive and then says, you know, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know enough about this to make that kind of investment.
Yeah.
You know, which is what we're talking about, warm market. A lot of times in your warm market, you'll find that people have never done this before.
Mm-hmm.
And so when that's the case, you want to ease them into it. And a lot of times letting them the initial investment and then building everything around that tends to be a little less of a reality check to them, you know, a slap in the face. So
which an idea is to let them know what that membership fee is. So there's a one-time lifetime membership fee of $25.
Exactly.
You pay that $25, you will never be charged for that $25 again, as long as your ID stays active.
Right.
Your ID stays active by LP moving through it, I think every 6 months.
Right.
So at the very least, if you have LP moving through your ID, then that's only one time you ever pay $25 for that ID number.
Right. And so long as you place an order with your ID number, your order, not people ordering under you, but your order placed, then it's 6 months before you're inactive.
Right. So
some people play that little Russian roulette because they believe in the company, but they don't have quite the expendable income to maintain that month to month. They would rather spend money on marketing. So what they'll do is they'll order their product and then they'll ride out 5 months. And during that 5 months, they're marketing, they're getting people involved. And then as people come in, it's less out of their pocket to invest because now they've got some commission coming back.
Right.
So, but you have to, under your ID number, you have to place an order within, I believe once your ID number is activated, you have 90 days to place an order or the ID is purged. So, and I've talked to people that made that mistake. They're like, oh, well, I'll just get my ID, I'll start marketing it and I'll be fine. And then they let too much time lapse. And then when they do get someone interested, they go to place them under them and their ID number is no longer active.
Yeah.
So make sure once you get that ID number within, I believe it's 90 days.
I think it's 60 or 90.
It might be 60. 60 would be safer. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
60. That way, if it's 90, you get a little extra. If it's not, I know it's at least 60, but you have so many days to place an order into that to activate that distributorship. Once you've done that, even if it's toothpaste, even if it's one of the least expensive things, so long as there is volume coming through, your personal volume coming through that ID number, then you'll be secure for a while.
Yeah.
So.
And then I would just ask the person, what would you be able to invest into your business?
Exactly. Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of get an idea, like they can think about it for a minute and be like, well, I mean, I could put $100 in every month. You can work with that.
Right.
You can get them on a product to develop that product testimony, but also get a sampleable product like the Energy Go sticks, the prebiotics, the Real Vita sticks, aloe vera sticks, something that's sampleable that they can use as a marketing tool to be handing out to people to get customers that will build up their LP as well, also be earning them some commission. You know, you can work with what they are able to invest.
Right. And they don't have to be at 100 LP to start marketing. Okay. 100 LP is so you can start retaining commission. Okay. That's to be an associate. But you can be a customer at any level. And once you have an ID number, even as a customer, you can start marketing, because that's the way it's built right now. You remain a customer until someone comes underneath you.
Right.
So, order $20 or $30, whatever you can afford, as Caitlin said, and go ahead and get started. Start marketing, start getting out there, start putting it out there and getting people interested. Then not only that, but if you get a couple people that do sign up underneath you, the thing we talked about earlier, where the PV is shared, kicks in. And now you may naturally qualify with not having more than just 20 or 30 LP of your own invested. So don't let the money be the reason you don't do it, because you could still get involved with the $25 one-time purchase of the distributor. I used to be distributor kit. I guess now it's different.
Welcome kit.
Welcome kit. Yeah, it's like the welcome something. They've changed it a couple of times. But $25 gets that, and then you get an ID number. Then within 60 days, place some kind of order. It can be the toothpaste, it can be the spray, it can be whatever you can afford. Order something to get you started. And once you get started, start telling everybody about it. Once those people place orders, now guess what? Now you've been able to get started off of the PV. Yeah. So, you may be covered before you know it, just simply because you're staying aggressive and you're keeping something going. Right. Like we said before, we've said it many, many times, do something. Yeah. As long as you're doing something towards building your business, it can be anything, but do something towards building that business and show that you're trying to get things off the ground. It's going to come together.
Yeah. And an idea also for customers that, you thought at first that they might be interested in the business, but they have kind of pulled back on that interest, or anytime you start to bring it up, it feels weird.
Yeah.
A good way to segue into a business part is to explain to them My Shop Rewards, because preferred customers can earn My Shop Rewards. So it's not money.
Right.
They're not being a salesperson, but they can earn credit on their account that will take money off of their next order.
Right.
So
again, ways to save money.
Yeah, ways to save money. So you can approach it like that. If somebody that you have talked to before has been enjoying the product and you just don't feel like they're ready yet to talk about a business opportunity, just start with My Shop Rewards. Just let them know, hey, if you know anybody, always be asking for referrals for people. This is everything always connects together. Being a great leader means that you stay in contact with your people. It means you always check up with them and ask them how they're doing, how are they doing with the products, what kind of results are they getting with the products. You can always use that as a segue to be like, hey, is there anybody that you know that would also be interested in experiencing what you're experiencing? Or is there anybody you know that would be interested in any of the products? Okay. And then you can let them know about My Shop Rewards, where they can earn credit on their account to take off of their order every month. And then eventually they might be like, hey, is there any money involved in this?
Right.
Could
it's
I
like I've been
actually
saving
make
money. Can I make money?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an easy segue.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's a great point though. I mean, honestly, is that even as a customer, you can start earning things, like I said, it's not going to be commission, but it's things that again, helps to lower that investment cost that so many people not necessarily struggle with, but so many people don't understand when they first get in network marketing, because they try and compare that to a job.
Right.
Well, when I got hired at McDonald's, they didn't charge me to work there. Well, no, but you actually worked there. You were in there every day. So you were essentially paying something. You were giving them your time. You're giving them your energy. You're giving them all of the things that you can't do when you're at work there. Right. So it's not free. And then they're paying you something back. So, but when people hear that you have to invest something monthly, they think, well,
I don't know if it's worth it.
What good is that? That sounds terrible. Why would I do that? Again, when you look at it versus a conventional business, it's a no-brainer, because a conventional business, you are going to be investing.
Right.
Which looks like one of our Bob there, good old buddy Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Looks like Bob actually is kind of giving a little bit of information on that too as well. So yeah, you just can't you can't assume that that you're going to have it any easier anywhere else. You know, there are the companies out there that say less investment, this and that, but you know, so many times what we find is that a lot of those companies, when you look into it and you really get down to the nitty gritty, yeah, there's less investment, there's a lot more work, and there's less payoff. You know, I've talked to people say, well, I just want to stuff envelopes. I found businesses I can stuff envelopes. It only costs me $15 to get started. They'll send me the envelopes, they'll send me this and that. And I'm like, you go do that. Because what happens is that's based off, it's basically what you're doing here when you use our postcard system, but you're doing it for someone else.
Right.
Basically, you're being their mailroom. And then if someone signs up or whatever, then you get a little bonus, little kickback. But that could be thousands and thousands of cards before you see that.
Right.
I know people that said, I did that for 3 months. I must have sent out 30,000, 40,000 cards, and I got a check for not even what it cost me to get into that company. Well, you know,
put in the same amount of work for yourself.
Right. Exactly. Why not do those mailings to get your own people in, to get your own people signed up?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
You
again,
can
it's a
always
no-brainer.
work with what people are able to do. Effort, money, time.
Right.
You just
Right.
have to let them know that, you know, if something's slacking, then you're going to have to give more somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
So if you have a lot less time and you have a good amount of money,
Right.
then that'll work. If you
Right.
have less time or
Less
more
money.
time
Yeah.
and less money, we can make that work, you know?
Right. Yeah. The key is work. Just, you've got to work it with what you have. Whatever you've got is good enough. You just have to be willing to put it in.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody's going to be different. Everyone comes from different mentalities. People come from different talents. People come from different, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, some people are more prone to be talkers, while others are more prone to be thinkers, while others are more prone to be strategists, while others are prone to just do what you tell them. So with all those different personality types, regardless, if you're doing the best of what you do, you can make this work.
Yeah.
And we have systems, we have tools. This is the tool lady right here. She's got the tool belt. I got the tackle box. We got you covered.
Ooh, yeah,
so,
you're covered.
so, you know, but basically what we're trying to say tonight is that when you're dealing with your warm market and you're explaining this type of marketing to them, there's going to be a lot of things that come up. Okay. We started off obviously talking about that you want to explain how this business works. Well, once they understand how the business works, then obviously the next thing they want to know is if it's really business, how do I make money? So now we're talking about how to make money and what your investment is going to be. These are all things that you need to know and just be prepared for when you talk to people in your warm market. The interesting thing that blows my mind is when we do things like the postcard. Okay, we send the postcards all over. I mean, even Hawaii, Puerto Rico, all over gets them. Okay, because the mailing lists we get are people from all over. What gets me is that no matter where you're sending it to and someone's interested, that's somebody's hometown. But if that person in their town were looking for people, they probably would never find that person.
Right.
Yet someone from Kansas can send it and find someone in Wisconsin that is just fired up about network marketing.
Right.
But if there's a network marketer in that hometown, the chances of them finding that person are slim to none. Just like I know there are other people in our hometown here in Hutchinson that are into network marketing. But when I've tried to do things locally, it's like people have never heard of it. Like, what is that? But I know there's people out there. I find them on Facebook, you know, and many of them I've talked to. A couple go to the gym I go to, and they've asked me about my product. I've told them about it, and they told me about theirs. And it's kind of like, it's a mutual respect thing. You know, we're not trying to pull one from the other, but we're like, hey, if something goes south or doesn't work out, hit me up, you know? But it's just so interesting that every town is someone's hometown, but people within that town generally, no matter where they're at, they tell you there's no warm market here.
Right.
But someone there, you know, is responding.
Yeah.
So the warm market is there, and it is something you can take advantage of. And there's a lot of systems that you can use to prospect your warm market. We have things like flyers, which are great to put up at church bulletin boards, recreational bulletin boards, laundromats, backs of quick shops, wherever there's a place where people put want ads or missings or, you know, job opportunities, you can put them up. Okay. There's business cards. We have business cards, and two different kinds of business cards. We have business cards like the type that fit in your wallet. And then we have big business, they're kind of like handouts almost. They're almost like the postcard, right? Like we have people I know that have used those. And some people use the postcard as their business card.
Yeah.
They get the postcard and they're like, well, I'm not going to mail these out. I'm going to keep them on me and just hand them out to people. As Caitlin said, one of the great things you can do if you're someone who says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and qualify by buying my product, but I'm a single person, I live alone, or I'm a widower or whatever, and I only need one bottle of product, but I need to reach my 100 points. Guess what? You can use that other 50 points and you can buy things like Energy Go sticks. You can buy Rio Vita sticks. Do they still have the Rio Vita chews? Yeah, Rio Vita chews, Rio Vita bursts. You can buy those types of things. Now, why would you buy those things if you've already got your product and you don't need any product? Because those things you can give out as samples. So if you have a postcard or you have a business card and you're talking to someone in your local area, you know, there's someone you see at the rec center, someone you see, you know, at church, someone you see, whatever, you can actually hand them that card or whatever with a sample.
Right.
Say, here's a little bit of what our company does. Here's a sample of it. Try this out. Tell me what you think. All my information's on there. And there's also information to websites. There's information to other videos and things that you can get right here. Here you go.
And just to pop in, we have business card sized marketing cards.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah. And we're working actively, like literally every day we're releasing new marketing cards for each product.
Wow.
So we're working on making a marketing card and a postcard sized flyer for each product.
Nice.
And they're uploaded to the store daily. So always be checking. And the collagen has one, Prebiotics has one.
Wow. Okay.
Energy Go sticks will be having one, aloe vera sticks.
And these are all through My DiamondsR4Life shop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure it's that shop, not For Life shop.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yes. DiamondsR4Life. You can find it in the portal. We have linked to the DiamondsR4Life store in the portal.
Go to that and get yours set up.
Yes.
There is just
you are lacking.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're lacking until you set up your portal.
I was going to use the term, there's a plethora of tools available to you in the DiamondsR4Life. And this young lady here is really kind of one of the ones spearheading a lot of these projects and getting these projects done for you. So when we come on these calls, that's why it's so perfect on these prospecting calls that we both are here. I've had people say, well, you have two hosts. Why two hosts? Well, because I can bring the experience of having done this for all these years and traveled and set up other countries and things, but there's new wave of tools coming through that I'm not as involved in that Caitlin is. So that's why this is such a great team when we do these calls, because as you've seen tonight, we volley off each other because she's got systems about things I'm explaining how to do. She's got a system that helps you do it. So, so someday I will have more free time to do other things because you guys will be able to go here and get all these systems to do it for you. That's the key. That's what I want to get rid of some of these white hairs. And that's, that's because I spent a lot of time training other people, you know, and I could be using that time more resourcefully on these other markets we're reaching out into if my time was freed up more. And it would be freed up more as you become more proficient. And that's not a dig on our people.
It's actually the same case for you. If you are spending less time reacting to all of your prospects and distributors' questions, requests, you know, then you have more time to be proactive in finding more prospects and more team members.
Exactly. And that's what the tools and systems that they're designing are working towards, is trying to be. The term automated doesn't really suit it well because it's not automated in that sense, but it makes everything you need at your fingertips, literally, to where you can just type it in, find it, and anything you need, any question you have, any scenario you're going to be stuck in, anything that people may come at you with, we're creating systems and tools that will be able to help you through those situations where you don't have to say, oh man, I got to get Shayne on the call. I got to get Shayne on the phone. I've got to figure, this person asked me a question. I don't know how to answer it. Calm down, take a breath. Remember we had our training that one of the first things you need to do, breathe, take a breath, and then say, okay, let me get back with you on that. That's a great question. I don't have an answer for you, but I can get an answer for you. When's a good time to call you back? Or if you're talking to them at a at a coffee shop, say, you know what? Let me take a note of that question, and I'm gonna get with my sponsor. I'm gonna get my upline, and I'm gonna get back to you on that. What's a good time I can get a hold of you to answer it?
Yeah.
That's why we're making these systems.
Mhm.
We're making them so that you can be the superhero in the scenario and not have to always phone a friend.
Right. And just a side note, our goal is to try and get the welcome system buttoned up. If you've gone through the welcome system recently, then we're trying to take that and make it even more, like, fill in all the little gaps that we've
Right.
found.
Mhm.
Also the roadmap. So the goal is to be able to just send your prospects and your new team members, your prospects, obviously you're going to use those marketing systems,
Right.
prospecting
Right.
systems, those types of things. As far as prospecting goes, you're pretty covered as far
Mhm.
as advertising and marketing goes.
Right. Yeah.
Team members, building a team, that's more of our focus. I mean, we are, like I just said, we're releasing marketing tools for each product every single day.
Right.
But as far as team building goes, we're trying to focus on really buttoning up that welcome system and the roadmap. So all you have to do when you start a team or you have a new enrollment, send them to the My DiamondsR4Life portal. And that is it. It has a welcome system built in. And then the roadmap literally takes them from new
Mhm.
to a seasoned transfer factor.
Right.
Yeah.
Step by step.
Yes.
Step by step. So, so in summary,
Right. All that to say.
Yeah. in summary, we, when you're approaching a warm market or any market for that matter, first step is to explain to them what this is all about. And again, as I said, there's no perfect way to do it, because as you begin explaining it, there's going to be questions.
Right.
And like we always say, the questions and the needs that they have, that will guide your presentation. That will guide where you go with it. But establish with them, first off, that this is not a job. This is not a 9 to 5. Okay. This isn't business. It's a legitimate business. There is going to be some investment, but we can guarantee you that the investment is going to be much cheaper than building your own business anywhere else.
Right.
Okay. Explain to them that that can even be alleviated by using our system, where the people you get in actually help to make up part of your PV, so you're qualifying.
Mhm.
Okay. So that lets them know, I don't bear all of this by myself.
Right.
Okay. Then from there, you can begin to share with them how this is built, because that's always the next thing people say, because I'm on the phone all day long. And, I had at least 2 people today ask me, they're like, well, this sounds pretty good, but how do I find people? Do you have people for me already that I just put in? Do you give them to me? How do I find them? That's where these prospecting systems and the things we're covering now come into play, because that's going to be one of the next questions, is how do I get people in?
Mhm.
If that's how I make money, how do I get them so I can start making that money? Well, here we go. We've got this prospecting system, and you turn them on to these training tools that then introduce them to all the systems that have available to them that will make that much easier.
Yeah.
So get out there, take a breath. Okay, find your center, and then you go out there and you just start working it. If it's a warm market, you can start calling people. You can start dropping flyers. You can start dropping business cards. The business card size promotional cards, take them with you, keep them in your pocket. These are all things you can do. Buying samples as part of your qualification is a great idea, because now you have something to give people on hand that they can see and feel the difference with. Immediately, instant gratification. These are all things you can do, and turning them on the sites, they're going to find all kinds of information from the doctors, all kinds of information from the different studies that have been done through all the different universities, and the legitimacy of what this product is and what the company's doing. So,
Boom, mic drop.
boom. Yeah. So do you want to add anything before we close?
No, that's pretty
Wow.
great. I mean, I wanted to read 2 of Bob's comments.
Yes, please.
Since we talked about conventional versus
Conventional,
networking.
yes, versus networking.
So Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes, thank you. He said, so when I started a brick and mortar business back in 1991, I put $5,000, which was 96% of my savings, to get things started, and didn't collect a paycheck for over 6 months. So when someone calls network marketing the lowest overhead, lowest cost, and lowest risk business opportunity, I know exactly what they mean.
Mm.
He also said, oh yeah, and then I wore so many hats in my business, marketing, sales, legal, HR. My head never got cold. That's a
Yeah.
perfect way of putting that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what people don't understand. And, you know, one of the things, like I said before, is one of the biggest things is that I've had people, you know, especially on cold call lists, as we've said before, cold calls can be kind of a tough way to go. It's a good way to get thick in your skin.
Mhm.
I've had people on cold calls when I call them back and they say, oh, well, when I answered that survey or I answered that ad about a home-based business, I thought it was like a job where I clock in and clock out and I just log my time on my computer. And I'm like, no, but there are jobs out there, transcriptionist jobs, phones jobs where you clock in, clock out, and you do calls for people, service and customer care type stuff. I'm like, that type of stuff's out there, but that's not what this is. This is your business. You
Right.
build this. So, that's another thing you have to overcome when you talk to people in your warm market, cold market, whatever, is just helping them understand this is not a job. This is a business. And then from there, you can kind of, as they ask questions, you can steer it one way or the other and describe to them exactly what it is we do. So,
Great job.
all right. Well, for us starting off a little on the thin side, what we're going to talk about, that went pretty well.
That went pretty well.
So, thank you guys so much for coming on, and we appreciate it. And for all of you who catch this later on, always feel free and leave comments below, subscribe, like, all that cool stuff. And you can always message us on our main webpage as well, DiamondsR4Life. If you have other questions, we'll probably do another question and answer meeting at some point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Leave some questions in the comments, message us some questions.
So until next time, thank you so much. It's Frankie Shayne and Katie Lane, and we are out.